Welcome, everyone, to episode number 54 of Talkin Kentucky. My name is Coleman Scott, and tonight I'm not joined by Caden Holmes. I'm joined by Michael Spencer Sr., otherwise known as the loyal BBN fan, who has graciously agreed to come on my show tonight to fill in for Caden in his absence because there's a lot going on in Kentucky basketball. So we had to do a show this week. We couldn't just not do a show. So, Michael, how are you? Thanks for coming on.
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. As you told me a few minutes ago, Caden did pick a fine time to not be in town or be available after everything that's going on with
Right?
UK.
Man, it's been a crazy 24 hours, and we got plenty of time to get into it here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But today is Global Day of Parents, and Michael's being a good parent tonight because he's coming on the show in between his daughter's softball practice. Is that right?
Well, actually, we was on our way to practice, and it started raining, and practice was maybe about 25 minutes away. So everyone canceled practice. So I'm back home now, and I'm good to go now. That's why I was kind of running a little bit
There
because
you go.
I was getting back across town just so I can get on Talking Kentucky.
Well, I knew initially, you said you were going to try to do the show from your car, and it looked looked a little fancy there to be in your car. So I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
So I was going to be really impressed if that was your car set up there. So
I know, right? I need something like that. That would be good.
No, absolutely. I would not be upset about that either. It's National Moonshine Day today. If you partake in that, I guess it's more of a Tennessee thing. It's National Olive Day. Are you a big olive guy, Michael?
Not really.
Not really.
My wife is. I'm not too much of a big olive guy. I guess I eat it. I guess a little bit.
I like them all. Kalamata, green, black olives, you name it. I'm all about it. It's National Don't Give Up Day, which I guess Kentucky needs to not give up on our roster, and Kentucky fans need to not give up on our roster yet. So that's appropriate.
Oh, I tell you what, a lot of people is just has probably already checked out, but hopefully they can don't give up and just live a little. I think that's what when I wrote my book, I kind of had that on my mind is for people not to give up. So
just wrote your book. You have a book? I don't think I knew.
I wrote two. I published 2 books. Yeah.
Well, you got to plug them on the show. What are your 2 books? I don't think I knew that.
The first one is about relationships, and the other one is more of a self-motivation for you to really not blame your circumstances or what's around you, but look deeper inside of your own self and just don't give up. Basically, don't be afraid of fear. So, yeah.
Well, that's a good. I need to read both of those, especially the first one about relationships. I think that'd be.
I do too.
For sure. But I need to check out both of those for sure.
Thank you so much.
If you haven't checked out, a little while we're plugging Michael and his stuff here, if you haven't checked out the Loyal BBN Fan Show, Michael does some really great stuff on his end too. So he goes live after pretty much every.
I appreciate it.
Game. Oh yeah, absolutely. I try to hop on after I think it's pretty much every game. You do some kind of post game show, don't you?
You guys have set the bar high, so it's hard for me.
Oh no, man, no, it's awesome. You're killing it, and we're just trying to hop along here. There's room for all of us. We all got our own shows.
All of us can eat. Absolutely, I agree with you. Yep.
Hey, that is absolutely the case. Well, I wish we had some stuff to talk about, Michael. There's as we said, there's not much going on right now. Not much
going on right now. Nothing.
That's for sure. So we got actually a bunch of stuff to get to. So we're going to get into that. We got Clyde and Josh in the comments here. And Josh brings up a very good point that I don't know how I almost forgot this, but today is Kentucky's, like the state of Kentucky's 231st birthday. So happy birthday, Kentucky.
Wow. Happy birthday, Kentucky.
That's another reason we had to do a Talking Kentucky show today with all the Kentucky basketball news, and it's Kentucky's birthday. I don't think we could we cannot do a show today. So that's for
Hey,
sure.
that's one thing about Josh, man. He's always he's always got that knowledge and always all that information, and he definitely never mind sharing it. So
He doesn't.
Josh has always got something.
Josh always comments like he finds like players, or players at Kentucky that have worn like last episode it was like 53, and I think he said that it was you'll have to remind me who it was, Josh. I think it was Rick Roby that was number 53.
Okay.
He was Lake Charles, Louisiana. From there, and he just gave us all that kind of insight on all that kind of stuff based on what episode number we are, like who all wore that number for Kentucky. And yeah, Josh is pretty quick at finding the stats, that's for sure.
Didn't for 54 wasn't
Patrick
it
Patterson?
Yeah. Did he wear 54? He sure did.
Did. I don't know anybody besides Patrick Patterson. That's a very specific number. 53 is even weirder than 54.
Like you gotta ask for that.
Yeah, you gotta order that. Like they don't have that in stock already. They've got you gotta special customize that one for sure.
Like I come to Kentucky if you let me wear 54.
That's right. That's right. But the big news, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know, yesterday Oscar Tshiebwe decided to remain in the NBA draft. Chris Livingston also decided to remain in the NBA draft, and Antonio Reeves decided to withdraw from the NBA draft and said he's going to return to college. Didn't say necessarily he's going to return to Kentucky. He's going to return and play college ball next year. So he's the big question. But Michael, I want to start with you. What's your initial reaction to all this? Like, how you feeling on definitely missing out on two of them and potentially getting Reeves? How you feeling about our chances there?
I tell you, it's June the 1st, and we got 7 players. And when the season was over, I like what Jack said. We should have been on Reeves as soon as the season ended. There's no reason why we should be up in the air about whether or not we're going to get Reeves or not. Like, we need that guy. Like, I mean, we have to figure out a way to get him to come back to Kentucky, and it don't look good because because for one, Cal doesn't make promises, especially for NIL, and it's just kind of like where are we at right now, and not having an idea of what our team is going to look like. I mean, we go to Toronto in 6 weeks, and we got 7 people. I hope nobody don't get hurt.
Don't we go in June? I thought it was this month. Is it in July? That would make me feel slightly
I think
better.
it's in July. I think it's like July the 15th, something, July the 12th through the 15th, something like that. That's okay if somebody fact check me. Yeah. I mean, that's very, very fast from now. It really is. And it's amazing that Kentucky basketball in June the 1st, and we only have 7 players. I kind of think that Kentucky basketball is in a state of emergency right now. People might not agree with me, but I mean, it's really shocking to see that we only got 7 players.
Hey, I have to break in with this really quick. Caden is in the comments. He's not on the show, but he's in the comments and said, which one of you is playing center for Kentucky this year? I'm
too sure. You look like
that about sums it up. Well, somebody's got to do it. So currently we have nobody. So somebody's got to do it,
I guess the only thing that I really fit for that is, in Ryan Lemon's words, I have a big butt. So I guess I can help. But other than that, I'm getting dominated in the paint.
That is Ryan Lemon's words. I forgot about that. Well, that's the thing is, I never thought Chris Livingston was going to come back. Did you? I mean, I never thought that there would be a chance he would come back. Really, honestly,
I thought if he wasn't going to keep his name in the draft, I thought he was going to transfer just from his people and just the way it was sounding. It's not a shock that it's a little shock that he's staying in the draft. But of course, his agent Clutch. We're going to see how powerful they are. We're going to see if they can get him in there. But if not, I really thought that if he was going to come back, he wasn't coming back to Kentucky. So I guess, to be honest with you, as a Kentucky fan and knowing his ceiling and knowing how good he can be in year two, I'm glad he's going to the pro, and I'm glad he's not going somewhere where we have to play him. You got Damian Collins. He went to LSU, but it's kind of like, yeah, it's okay if we play Damian, because he's still growing. But
Right.
Livingston's, at this level and could be better. He's a beast and he's so strong. That's just not a player that I wanted to see Kentucky play.
No, that's for sure. And Jack Pilgrim even put something out yesterday that if Livingston were to withdraw from the draft, that he would not return to Kentucky. Like there was no scenario that he was going to return to Kentucky, which is really concerning just about the culture of the program, right?
It is, really concerning.
NIL is definitely a part of that, but I got to think that if the culture is just decent, right? I feel like NIL isn't the end all be all, right? Like we can figure that out, but it seems like the culture is bad. Like people don't want to be there, and the NIL is bad, and that's really affecting the team. So
kids want to get paid, man, and they got to know. I mean, I think it's a little weak you got 5 superstars coming in, freshmen and stuff like that. But I think as a seasoned player, you should want that challenge. You should want to come in and play with the best and be challenged to up your, that's the reason why you're a senior or a transfer grad or whatever.
I think so.
is because you're not at that level yet to go to pro. So why not come and play against dominating players every single day in practice? And remember a few years ago,
that's how Cal has always sold Kentucky.
Yep.
Is you're going to be the best. You're going to play against the best. Yeah.
That's it. You nailed it.
But and, kids, you're right. They want to get paid now. They want to get paid, and it's like, and Cal doesn't seem like he's wanting to buy into that. And we're going to move on to Reeves here in a minute. But if we lose Reeves, that's probably going to be why. Is because somebody else like Memphis and Illinois are 2 schools that have been thrown in the mix might pay him more. And I feel like if we're in that situation that he's going to start. Yeah, exactly. Well, we have to be able to pay a kid, in that situation. Like we can't lose a player like Antonio Reeves because we're Kentucky. Like we should be able to kill NIL, and we should be able to kill recruiting, not only because of NIL, but just because we're Kentucky. That should continue to be a factor. Like we should continue to be able to sell kids on the fact that we're Kentucky and this is the best path to the NBA and all that kind of stuff too. I think that there's no reason that NIL should take away from that. We should be killing NIL because we are that, is what I'm saying.
I mean, this is Kentucky. This is, if we're going to say that we're a top-notch blue blood team, then Kentucky, with the history that it has, it's no reason why NIL is a major reason why players don't want to come here. I mean, though it's Kentucky, you do what you do to get the best players. And if you're hesitating to do that, somebody like Memphis, somebody like Illinois, they're going to sweep right in. We'll give you exactly what you want. Both of them, starting and the money. Come on, we got you. I mean, and at this particular time,
Clutch is LeBron's agency, right? That's the same people that work with LeBron. So, and that's also who was trying to steal Bradshaw away to USC in that period of time. Isn't that right?
It was. It was some rumors about him trying to go out there. Yep, it was. So I mean, that would have been horrible.
Yeah, it would have. It would have.
That would have been a nightmare.
Let's move on to Oscar. I mean, were you holding out any hope that he might come back? Because I really wasn't, because again, NIL, not because Kentucky wouldn't pay him. I think he killed NIL more than anybody else on the team last year.
By a long shot.
By a long shot. But the fact that he's not a citizen had some hurdles for him, and he's 24. Like if he's going to go to the pros, he needs to go ahead and do it. That kind of thing. So were you surprised that he stayed in the draft?
actually, for him to stay, I mean, as far as the draft goes, I mean, I don't really see his name high on anybody's board. But you're right. I mean, he came to Kentucky. He gave it everything he got. He was one guy that was going to show up every single night and fight for you. This is
Mhm.
a chance for his. This is a chance like so many other people. His knees are old. He's been getting a lot of
Yep,
rebounds over the
exactly.
years. So at this particular point, Oscar, go get your money. You did what you came to Kentucky to do. We didn't win a championship. You got a lot of single accolades for what you was able to do, but you gave Kentucky all you had. So I was completely okay. That was an easy okay, Oscar. Thank you for your time. Good luck in the NBA. We'll be supporting you and watching you. It was the other two that kind of bothered me.
Right. Well, that's the other thing about Oscar and Chris is, do you think either one of them are going to get drafted? Do you think either one of them are really going to get drafted,
I
or
mean,
not?
like apparently, I mean, not many people have Chris Livingston on their board, like at all. And
Yeah,
this is
I
what
know.
this, yeah. And this is kind of what Jack was alluding to, was basically like how powerful is clutch sports. His
Yeah.
agents. So will they be the deciding factor to be able to get that guy into the league? I mean, I would hate to give up, because he could have came back next year and been a beast next year. He could have dominated the floor with
Yep.
just his physique and with the way he turned it on last year. So
Mhm.
I mean, for him to get drafted, I don't know. I mean, that's sticky because you're in it now. So let's see what happens.
Hey, Daryl has a good question here. What's going to happen to Wallace? Where's he going to go in the draft? You think
Wallace,
he's going to
last time
go?
I
You think he's
checked,
going to be a lottery pick?
he's been up there towards the lottery picks. Will he fall out of it by the end of it? I don't know, but I mean, his name has been up there the later part of the lottery, but he's been in the lottery numbers.
Yeah, I think he'll be up there, and I think Carson Wallace is going to be. I mean, not Carson, Kaysen. Sorry, everybody calls it. I have a friend that calls him Carson all the time, and it annoys me. So it's gotten in my head.
It rubs
Kaysen,
off.
it rubs off, unfortunately. Yeah, Kaysen Wallace. I think he'll be a lottery pick, easy.
I think so. Yeah.
So I think he'll go up there for sure. But yeah, I don't think. I mean, Oscar's obviously a beast, but I don't think Oscar's gonna get drafted. I mean, he might make a roster, but I don't know if he'll get drafted just because of the type of player he is. It just doesn't fit the mold of the NBA,
It just
kind of
doesn't.
thing.
Yep. I mean, that's something that at the end of the day, I mean, did he really ask for $8 million to come back to Kentucky? Is
I
that a
heard
real
that
number?
number. I would be shocked if that were true.
Like,
I would be
I
shocked if
mean,
that number actually happened.
so let me ask you a question, Dan. Do you think UK was loyal to him by looking for other players while he was making his decision?
Not as much as they maybe should have been. With
Okay.
Hunter Dickinson. I mean, Oscar's the second uh consensus
All
All-American,
American.
right? Or it was it consensus All-American or consensus National Player of the Year? I think it was consensus National Player of the
I
Year.
think so. I think Davis wasn't he?
Yeah, Davis was, and then Oscar was the
Yes.
second. So he's only the second
Yeah.
one ever at Kentucky. He's gonna be a beast in college, like no matter what. So no, I think you have to give Oscar the benefit of the doubt there. I think you have to kind of be loyal to him first, right? Over a guy like
And
Hunter Dickinson, who ended up using us to get more money at Kansas. So
sure did. Yep. And we lost on both of them.
exactly, and that was the
We
big
lost,
fear. That was like the one thing that you couldn't let happen, and
and
that's
both
what
of them
happened.
happened. Yep.
Yeah, it seems like Kentucky, that happens to Kentucky a lot. Kentucky basketball a lot these days. Like the one scenario you can't let happen, it happens.
I mean,
Um,
a few years ago, you couldn't tell me that Kentucky basketball would be in this type of predicament that they're
no,
going through right now. You talk about Kentucky, your face glow up, you light up, you set up, you're ready to go.
right?
And yeah, it's just like,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't want to play for Kentucky. What? Like
I
make it
know.
make sense.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing is like with Reeves, even if you are, I mean, at some point, if you're in college, if you're a college kid and you're making 7 digits or close to 7 digits in NIL money, wouldn't you rather play for Kentucky than play for Memphis? Like, shouldn't that be a factor? Like, I would rather make $500,000 at Kentucky than $1 million at Memphis, for example. That's
It
just me
just,
personally.
but I think it goes back to what you just said a few minutes ago. It has to be the culture at UK that would make you leave because you don't want to be inside the program because there's
The
something deeper
culture still
going
has to
on.
be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's exactly what that comes down to. It's something inside that's like, okay, I can get money, but do I really want to be in that environment all the time?
Yep. Linda says, I never thought UK would go from dynasty to dumpy. It is a shame. Yeah, and I don't know if we're dumpy right now, but I think the culture and everything certainly seems dumpy right now. That's for sure.
It does. Yep.
Caden says, hey, good news. It won't take us long to figure out our rotation because we don't have one. That's a very good point. Yeah. We only have
That is the
like 5 players. Well, that's the other thing. The Reeves thing bothers me, which we're going to talk more about Reeves in a second. Not having a shooter. Like if Reeves doesn't come back, like I think that's a big problem because we don't really have any true shooters on the team, but we don't have any big men. Like we have Ugana and Bradshaw, and it just came out yesterday that Bradshaw has like a foot injury, and we know how these mysterious injuries have affected Kentucky basketball over the years. Have you heard about Bradshaw's mysterious foot injury that may be lingering?
I have not. I'm just not hearing about it right now. But really,
Yeah, it was something that it was on KSR, and
well, he probably won't
Frank
be. He
Jones,
probably won't be going to Canada then.
actually it wasn't on KSR, it was Nation of Blue. Jeff Goodman
Okay.
says there are injury concerns with Kentucky freshman Aaron Bradshaw. So that might be something. And then during the year we've seen guys get hurt. Like we had Wheeler, which who knows if he actually got hurt, but Wheeler,
Yeah.
CJ Frederick, all these guys that have had lingering injuries, and we're not deep at big man at all. Like we have two, like not
That's
two
it.
starters, we have two on the team. Period. So
Yeah,
it's
that
not
is
good.
Gerald Vanderbilt. His foot looks better now, or whatever it was that was hurting him.
Yeah, that's for sure. Caden says, "Where's the sign up list for Canada? I'll run backup point." Well, speaking of Canada, I think Brennan Canada may actually be running point, so we can put like some of these other guys at as backup center, so we can have some depth on the bench.
Must be, yeah.
Linda also says, "I hate the transfer portal." Yeah, I mean, it's basically
It ain't
free
going
with NIL
nowhere.
now. Yeah, well, it ain't going nowhere, that's for sure. But with NIL now, it's basically free agency like the NBA. So
That's it.
what about Reeves? Getting to that's the one everybody's thinking about. We know Oscar and Livingston are gone, but Reeves is the one that's still up in the air. What do you think he
That
does? Do you
scares
think
me.
he comes back or
I
leaves?
think that, I mean, we need him. And like, I don't know what UK is doing, but UK needs to make it known. What do we need to do to get you back at Kentucky? I mean, we need Reeves to come in. We have no leadership. I know that Theo played a little bit last year, but that was only because people got hurt. So it ain't like Cal just said, hey, I'm going to play you just because I'm going to stick you in a rotation. No, we don't have any more players. I don't have a choice. I have to play you. That's a good thing because that gets him on the floor. It gets him some experience. But that's about it. We need people who we need some leadership on the team. We just do. And at this particular point, I don't want to lose him. Like I'm really going to be sad if we really lose that guy. I hope he
He was
can.
my favorite player last year. I mean,
He
hands
was.
down. Dropped
I
37
mean,
at Arkansas. How many guys have done that? So
not many people have did that.
yeah.
I know he didn't have a good shooting night when we played Kansas State, but I was still taking back on my team any day of the week.
Oh, absolutely. And he is a true shooter. We need one of the. I was going to say, I sort of thought it was a given. I don't know about you, but I thought Reeves was like definitely coming back for a long time. And then there was sort of this scuttlebutt like, oh, Reeves may not even come back. And everybody's like, what? What are you talking about? Of course he's going to come back. So I've always thought that we needed to go in the transfer portal and get another shooter, another Reeves-like player in addition to him. So if we lose him and have nobody, I mean, that's going to be insane. So
you better get and it's like a lot of players are actually coming out of the NBA drive and going back to their teams. So you have to ask yourself who's really out there, really available to go get in the replace of these guys. Like it's going to be interesting just to see how this all unfolds.
It does, because the transfer portal is closed, right? Except for grad transfers. Like those are the only people that can transfer, right? Or grad transfers right now.
That may be true, yeah.
And well, I guess you can get like there's like a waiver. So I don't know how all that works, but in any case, it's going to be difficult. David Holmes said it would be another season like last year. Yeah, it's kind of crazy with the recruiting class that we have coming in if we somehow screwed this up, because this is arguably Cal's best recruiting class. So if it doesn't work out, that's pretty sad. In my opinion.
That's really bad. It really is. Yep.
And hey, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your guys' thoughts on all this stuff. We want to hear your thoughts on if Reeves is going to come back or not. I'm trying something new with our phones tonight. So a long time ago, Michael asked me, your all's phones, they sound great. What do you guys do for your phones? And I said, well, you're not going to believe this. We hold an iPad up to a microphone, and that is our high quality technology for our calls. Tonight, I'm going to try to have them go actually through StreamYard instead of holding a microphone up. So we will see if that actually works. And we're already getting a call. I was going to put a number up on the screen, but I didn't even need to. Somebody's calling in here. Hey, you're on with Talkin Kentucky. Who's this? Can you hear me? That did not work. Okay, well, I was going to see if it worked, but that did not work just then. So let me see if I can get the old-fashioned way up and working here before I throw the number up on the screen and see if that actually works. The only problem is when I try to do that, half the time they can hear us and half the time they can't. So that's the only problem, and that's an important part of phone calls is for people to be able to hear you. You know.
Exactly.
That's the thing. You got to have that working. Linda said she lost audio. Coleman, you're muted. Caden said muted. Is that it might be Caden trying to call in. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's see. I'm going to X out of that and see if I can get this to work. Sorry, guys. I got like eager tonight to see if this technology could work, but it didn't. So I'm going to see if this works instead. Okay, let's see if we can call and see if this comes through now here. Yeah, that comes through. Okay. Our phones should be working now. So if you want to call now, at 502-234-1504, you can call because now it should be working. So we'd love to hear from you if that works. So, okay. 502-234-1504. Give us a shout on the Talkin Kentucky phone line. We want to hear what you guys think about all this stuff. It was probably Clyde Hare that called in. And it was. So I think I'm getting a Clyde call here. Clyde, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Good. It was like the throwback to our first episode. See, Michael Clyde was our first ever caller. And the first time first time he called in, he couldn't hear us, but he can hear us now. So we should be all good now. So.
It's good now.
Clyde,
so I remember all that. That was a major struggle. Like I tried a few times and it just but then I think the second episode I called in, I think that's when it started working actually. So, what you got for me?
What you got for what I got for you? What you got for me?
What questions do you have for me so I can answer?
So
that's what I meant.
Oh, okay. So you called in to our show and you want to know what questions we have for you.
Well, you guys normally ask me. I mean,
no, we do. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know.
What do you think about? Well, I guess, are you surprised that Chris or Oscar, either one of them leaving? Did either one of those decisions surprise you?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, same.
I knew it from the beginning. Like, it's just like, I mean, what does Oscar have for next year? Like, what is he coming to? Like, we're guaranteed these freshmen starting time, and and all these guys, and really, what is Oscar coming back to? He's going to have to, tell freshmen what to do again, like he's done the past 2 years. And the dude is 23 years old. You don't want to head next year into your NBA season.
Yeah,
go to the draft being 24.
Yeah, he's 24.
He's an older guy, and so
that would be insane. Yeah, no, I think it was a good decision for Oscar to go on, for sure. As much as we would love to have him, it's probably what was best for him. What do you think, Michael?
I mean, if he goes to the G League, he's not going to have life as good as he did at Kentucky. So I'm definitely rooting. I'm definitely rooting for this kid. I can't say kid anymore because he's a grown dude. I'm definitely rooting for him. Hopefully he can get drafted in the second round, and go live his dream. He did everything, like I said, for Kentucky that he could. So I agree with Clyde. I'm definitely not surprised at all that he decided to go ahead and throw his name in the draft and keep it.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Yeah, Livingston, he's actually projected to actually get drafted. Clutch worked out a way to actually get him drafted, and he'll get drafted in the second round. But reason why he also hasn't been going through workouts, I mean, like 5-on-5s, is because there's been a team out there that is already guaranteed to draft him, and Clutch has worked their way, secretly, like they don't want to make it public and stuff. But Clutch has worked out a deal where he's going to get drafted.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that either, Michael. We were just talking about how powerful Clutch can be, so I'm not surprised that they're trying to pull through for him.
I mean, you got some pretty big name people involved with Clutch, so you're not talking about Michael being, you're not talking about me being in charge of Clutch, because he would probably be on Western Kentucky after I was done with it. So
right,
so
exactly.
He might be in good hands.
Yeah, he might be. I mean, it's good for Chris. It's maybe not good for Kentucky, but I guess it's good for Chris. But well, what do you think Reeves is going to do, Clyde?
I think, I comment on there. I said Reeves and Cal are meeting in the coming days, and I think they'll work something out, and I think he returns because, I mean, we don't really have much options left. So Cal knows that Reeves is the number one priority right now, and he's going to do what it takes to get it worked out. So that way Reeves, can be a part of next year's team and become, more of a better player. I mean, he's a baller, but it'll do him a lot better if he came back to us, So I think he can benefit from coming back and, becoming a, first round pick in next year's NBA draft. So I feel pretty good that he might come back. So,
well, let's hope so, man, because we need him. That's for sure. But thanks for calling in. Sorry for the phone difficulties at first. I think I'm just going to stop trying to do anything but our trusty old iPad next to the microphone here, because that's just what works. So you know what, we're going to roll with
that. It's all good. Appreciate it, and I'm gonna let you all go.
All right, thanks, man. We appreciate you.
Yep.
Marsha says, I think Oscar will get drafted, and I think we will be surprised. I do think Reeves will come back more confident, knowing he would definitely be the team leader. I don't think there's a high percentage of Reeves coming back. Now, that's the thing. Reeves would be a star. Like, Reeves would be a key part of this team if he were to come back.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
We need him. Like, he not only can he benefit, Kentucky can benefit from it. I think it can be a mutual. I think it can be something mutual that both parties can benefit from it.
And that's what Cal needs to sell to him. Anybody else wants to call in? Especially if you never called the show before, if you're a first-time listener and discovered us from Michael's page, maybe give us a shout. 502-234-1504. We want to hear your thoughts on all this chaos happening in Kentucky basketball world right now. Did you hear about this this referee that had a burner account in the NBA? Did you see that?
Now I can't remember his name. I'm pretty sure you have it, but I mean he's a big time referee, and I'm trying to figure out I guess that's illegal.
It's not allegedly. Like I don't think he sure did it. Yeah, it's alleged. So
yeah. So they have like why come he can't? I mean I'm pretty sure he's a fan of some team. You know, I mean he grew up as a fan of basketball because he became a referee. So he must have a team that he likes, but the NBA and these rules, and I mean,
because what was he doing? Was he getting on there and was he saying like trying to back up his own calls on?
I think that's what it was. I was watching something on ESPN or on I think it was First Take the other day, maybe yesterday or something like that. But they was kind of talking about the whole ordeal of him and his burner phone and like stuff like that. I definitely don't, I don't think he should. I think he's very professional. So I don't think he should be someone to be like, okay, we're going to suspend you for a whole year, just because you had a burner phone, just kind of slap on the hand, you kind of know better and let's move on with the situation, I think.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No, I completely agree.
I hate to see a guy's career end because of a burner phone.
Oh yeah, that would be a ridiculous way for it to end for sure. But
yeah,
you're on with Talkin Kentucky. Who's this?
This is Matt from Second to None, along with Michael on his program. How are y'all doing tonight?
Hey Matt, we're doing great. Man.
What's going on, man?
Thanks for calling in.
What's going on? All right, how are you all doing?
We're doing well. We're just, as well as a Kentucky fan can be doing right now.
Just have patience, fellas.
Yeah.
I know Calipari is going to he'll get some transfers. I have no doubt, along with this freshman class. I mean, this is going to be a big step. This ought to inspire Reed Sheppard. This is going to give him more minutes.
Hey, that's absolutely true. That's a really good point. I think a lot of people were worried that Reed Sheppard would become sort of another Dante Allen and that Cal wouldn't really want to play him because he's like the fan favorite from Kentucky. But this could be a really big opportunity for Reed Sheppard to step in and be the star. That's a really good point, Matt.
And, Reed Sheppard can create his own shot. I mean, I know high school is different from college, but he definitely it's going to be a, whole lot different ball game versus high school. And if he's anything like his daddy was, we'll have nothing. We won't be disappointed.
That's right. That's exactly right. Hey, Matt, Matt, let me comment on that for a second. With the with Reed Sheppard, as Coleman as myself, we was talking about earlier. The thing about Kentucky is when you come to Kentucky, you get a chance to play against elite guys every day at practice. I know he's a freshman and I know he hasn't played at the college level, but just being able to come to practice and battle every single day, day in and day out with other people, that's, in a sense better. I don't want to use the word better because, he's earned this spot. It wasn't given. But just to play with star competition every single day, he'll be ready because I don't think he got here just to get here. And I think he's going to be ready when the season starts. I just hope Cal recognizes that and gives him his shot and don't wait until the middle of the year just to say, okay, somebody's hurt, I'll play you. I hope Cal will respect the guy for doing what he do to actually get here. So that's good bringing up Reed Sheppard.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And it all starts on the defensive end. It all starts in practice and waiting your turn. I know we hear that year after year after year. Calipari, let him wait his turn. He's going to get his shot. But he's going to have his chance. I mean, I know they're going to get a couple of transfers. I mean, we know that's going to happen. I mean, he's got 7 players. And these freshmen, they're talented. The Wagner kid, I mean, he's a good player. I mean, I know, like I said, he's going to probably take some bumps, but they're going to have a chance to prove their stuff on this Canada trip. And it'll be interesting to see. And plus, Ozenzo, I mean, I can't wait to see how he's developed. They say he put on a little extra weight. And,
I think Onyenso's ceiling is actually – I think Ugana's ceiling is actually pretty high. Like, I think he has the potential to be a really great player if we're being positive. Now, I think he needs some backups, but I think he has the potential to be a really impactful player for us.
I tell you what, if after seeing Oscar leave – go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, I was just going to say, with this core of players coming in, and plus, a couple of the players that we have back, we're going to, they're going to be in good shape to run the court, and plus driving lanes. I mean, I would love to have had Oscar back, but, that it is what it is. And I think it's going to open up more driving lanes and, the dribble drive. I know people are probably tired of hearing it, but,
Cal's coming with
Hey, that's a good point. With the dribble drive stuff, Cal posted that thing Cal didn't post it. Matt Jones posted it, but Cal wrote in his book that thing explaining how the jumper is the worst shot in basketball, the long two is the worst shot in basketball, and that we should be doing layups and threes, and that's kind of like not what we're doing right now. So that was a little confusing to read. It's like, did Cal really write that? Because that's not what he's doing right now. So
it's a ghostwriter.
Yeah, ghostwriter.
He's got a lot to prove.
Yes, he does. No, there's no doubt with that. But hey, Matt, thanks for calling in. Really appreciate it. And hope
Good talking to you all.
Yeah, hope to see you over on the Talkin Kentucky side of things too.
All right. Talk to y'all guys later.
Sounds good. Hey, we're getting
so the history with me and Matt is we do a SEC podcast, and we have a fan from 8 other teams. So basically, we do our weekly shows and we get together and we discuss the weekly issues or whatever's going on with SEC. Mostly like after games and like stuff like that. So Matt is actually my Kentucky representative. So he represents Kentucky. So
awesome. That's cool. What's that show called that you do? The SEC one.
It's called Second to None.
Second to None. I think that's right. You've mentioned that before, or shared it at least on your page.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
I remember that.
And right now we're having to hear all of the trash talk from the Vandy guy about how they just dominated Kentucky. And believe me, I don't care if we win just one game next year. I cannot wait to destroy Vandy because I'm tired of hearing his smack talk. Yes.
Well, speaking of that, I saw this stat about Vandy today. For the first time since 1974-1975 season, Vanderbilt has defeated Florida in football, men's basketball, and baseball in the same year. Man, Vandy's looking up, man. They're having it's Vandy's decade here, I guess.
I hope it's just that year.
Yeah, I think it is too. I guess what was it? Clark Lee, their football coach, said that everybody knows that in time Vanderbilt's going to be the best football program in the nation. I don't know about that. Maybe they'll get slightly better, but I don't know that we're going to be seeing Vandy blowing people out in the national championship like Georgia here in the coming years. So
come on, stop pretending, man. It's okay. You don't have to do that. That's okay. Just stop pretending. it don't even pretend it don't even look good on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. What other comment? I think somebody else said. Linda says, I hope Ugana and Reeves can get in sync with each other. Ugana can throw him the ball and Reeves puts it in, or vice versa. It's been a while since we have had a team like that. Yeah, I agree. Well, let's see what else we got going on here. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. The football scale. Well, speaking of some positive stuff, whoever thought that the Kentucky basketball stuff would be the negative stuff, the Kentucky football stuff would be the positive side of things. But I did want to get into a little bit of football talk before we got off of here. So I sort of wanted to see your opinion on this upcoming season. Of, do you think that we're going to be as good as people say we're going to be? Do you think it's going to be another like just 7-5, 8-4 year? Or do you think we have a chance to be what we thought we were going to be last year? 10-2, 9-3 again, go to the Citrus Bowl. What are you thinking?
For me, the positive thing for me that I'm taking away from this time is we're putting the people in the right position for the O-line. And if Leary is going to be as good as they think he is, as good as he was before coming to Kentucky, then I think as long as we can keep him up, we're deep at the receivers. We got a 1,000-yard rusher with Davis coming in. We got the other backs in the running back room. We just gotta find a way to keep him up. And, people always go back and look at Will Levis and say, well, he wasn't really all that good. Well, you wouldn't be good neither if you got sacked 59 times in 1 year.
I know. If we had any kind of offensive line, I think we would have been at least 9-3 last year, if not 10-2. So you
let Brady get sacked 59 times in 1 year, and then you talk to me about how good he is. I mean, it's impossible for if you don't stay upside or for whatever reason. But I really think our defense. I'm looking forward to our defense being very aggressive. I think Mark Stoops is definitely going to have those guys ready to play. That's his strong thing is we got to play defense. I just think if we just come in, our freshmen are not freshmen anymore. The guys who made Key and what's the name, they're not freshmen anymore. Those guys know what playing in the SEC. Yeah, Barry and Brown. So they know what it's like to. So they know what it's like to play in the SEC. They know how hard it is, but they got a year under the belt, and I think they're ready to go. I mean, I think the sky's the ceiling. We got a hard. I mean, we play Alabama this year. Do we go ahead and pencil that as a loss? People say. I heard people.
I kind of want to go through the schedule here. I've got to get it.
Okay.
Sorry. Let's see. I'd like to go through the schedule here a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. Especially with Alabama and everything. That's right. Do we even have a chance because we got to play Alabama and Georgia this year? It's like
we do.
Oh, man, we finally can we catch a break at some point? Kentucky football schedule, 2022, and then also, 2023. Gosh, what year is it? And
we do not want to go back.
Yeah, we do not want to go back to 2022. And by the way, here, trying to keep our phones open here too with everything and get. So let's see. 502-234-1504. Anybody wants to call in, give us a shout. It must be nice being in KSR and having like somebody to answer the phones, put people on hold, have the whole studio and everything. But for us,
think about that all the time.
We're trying to do this show, on our own, and produce and do the show and put up everything on the fly. It's not always easy. That's for sure.
It's not easy at all, man. It really isn't. Like they have it easy. They just get to go live and talk. And Shannon the dude takes care of it. Yep.
So yeah, I know it's crazy with trying to keep the Wi-Fi and everything and the hardwire connection going, because I got a hardwire connection going. My Wi-Fi is off, so I'm using like a hotspot on my phone. My phone's about to die. I'm like trying to piece everything together and keep the show going. But that's what we do. That's what we signed up for. But if we sort of go through game by game here,
okay.
we open up with Ball State, should win that one, right? That should be pretty easy dub.
So how fitting would that be if the baseball team lost to Ball State, and then we got to open up in football and play them?
Well, that would not be ideal if Ball State owned us like that. That would not be ideal. We go play Eastern Kentucky after that. Should win that one, right? And then Akron. So do you think we're losing any of those three games, or you think it's all those 3-0?
For some reason those games, even though we should blow them out, they always just be like, we just let. I hope finally this year we're not a team that just let teams, and no disrespect to those, to those young men who go play college ball and everything, but UK should not let those teams stick around. Like they shouldn't, and that's the worst thing that you can do is give those teams like that hope that they can actually have a chance to pull it out. I mean, EKU gave us a scare. Was it last year or year before, whenever we played them last? They gave us a real bad scare.
Chattanooga did too.
So it's just kind of like, I hope they come out and they take care of business for them, for the fans, because I mean, if we barely make it by those teams, and I think Florida's is Florida fourth on the list, or is that Vandy?
We play Vandy first. It's weird this year. We usually, Florida's our SEC opener. This year it's Vandy, and then we go to Florida the week after that.
Okay, so we need both of those two wins. Yes.
Yeah, they come.
We need to start 5-0.
We do need to start 5-0. But we got the three stinky teams. Let's assume we go 3-0 there. Do we go beat Vandy, or do you think they're going to continue to be the best football program in the nation and they'll beat us?
Yeah, they probably will. I'm probably going skydiving too later tonight. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I hope we beat those guys.
Win. I think we will. So we get the Vandy win. Florida. Do you think we're able to keep the Florida win streak going, make it 3 in a row against Florida in Lexington?
As much as we need to beat Vandy, because we should beat Vandy, we can't lose that game against Vandy. But if we really want to set the tone for the year, we can't measure whether we beat Vandy or not. So we should beat Vandy. So we can't really measure how our year is going to go. But that Florida game, like, we need that game, considering how hard the year is. Like, we need that, and we need that to have some serious momentum going into the next ball game.
So you think we start 5-0?
I think we can start 5-0 because I think we're at home against Florida, right?
We are. Yep.
So then, So coming back from being on the road at Vandy, I think we should come home and take care of business. I think Kroger Field is going to be pumped up. I think they're going to be excited. They're going to want to beat Florida. And guys, they just got to go out and just play ball and just beat them.
I think we can. We'll continue with the football talk here in a second, but I think we got Josh on the phone. How's it going, Josh?
Hey, pretty good. How y'all doing this evening?
We're doing great, man. Thanks for calling.
How you doing, Josh?
Doing good, Mike. How are you doing, brother? Glad to see you back in the
Not
States.
bad. Oh, it feels good to be back. Yeah. Feels good to be back for at least for right now. I think for a little bit, but at least for right now.
That's good, man. Again, thank you for your service to our country, man. I greatly appreciate it so much. And,
yes, sir.
Appreciate your service.
Thank you so much.
To our country as well.
Yeah, that's what I came back for, and I decided I wouldn't go back. I said I'm good.
So that's good. So yeah, we were in a bit of a pickle, Taylor, with missing out on his transfer portal. Now Oscar leaving, which I don't blame Oscar for leaving. I mean,
yeah,
like we said he's getting his mid-20s, so, I mean, he can only play basketball for so long. And it's just best for him to go on. But this NIL stuff is for the birds. These people want $8 million and $10 million or 20 or whatever it is. It's got out of control. And somebody said that Calipari was the one that wanted to push the NIL. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never seen nothing on it, but somebody said that one of the fan pages I follow today, that Calipari was the one that pushed for NIL. Is that true or not?
I don't think that's true. No, I don't think Cal, because he's not doing it. I mean, he's not guaranteeing money, and that's the other thing about all this is everybody thought that Cal was cheating all these years, right? Paying players. Everybody accused Cal. Cal's paying the players. Cal's just buying the best players, and now that it's legal, he's not doing it. So that makes me feel better about him not cheating. And so I don't know for sure, Josh, if he was an advocate of it or not. I'm sure he wants players to be able to make money off their likeness, but I don't know that he's all about like just pay to play kind of stuff. I don't know that is his view.
I just don't see what the likeness is about, because that's why they took away college football games on, PS5s or the Xbox One consoles and stuff like that.
Which, by the way, I can't wait till those are back. That's gonna be awesome. I'm counting down the days till the college football video games back.
It's supposed to be this year or next year.
It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be June or July of 2023 initially, but they pushed it back a year, so we got to wait another year. But I'm here for it, man. That's like the only video game I play.
I still have my PlayStation ones from back in the day.
Yep.
Never had to play them, but still have them.
Heck yeah.
But there was 8 players that wore the number 54.
8 player, not just Patterson. Well, we can only think of Patterson. So Josh has got all the other ones here. Do you have the names in front of you?
Yeah, Howard Dardine. He was from Terre Haute, Indiana.
Howard Dardine.
He played 58, 59, so he played under Rupp. Don Mills played under Rupp in 59, 60 from Berea, Kentucky. Larry Lentz, 65, 66, so also Adolph Rupp from Lakeview, Ohio. Art Labby, 69, 70. I guess that's still Rupp. Maybe Joey Hall, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
San Francisco, California. Tom Payne, 70, 71 from Louisville, Kentucky. Dan Hall, 75, 76 from Betsy Lane, Kentucky. I think that's Eastern Kentucky. And Melvin Turpin, 83.
Melvin Turpin.
84.
I didn't know Melvin Turpin wore 54.
Yep.
I remember that.
This graphic guy it is.
Huh.
He was from Lexington, Kentucky. Bryant Station High School. And, of course, Patrick Patterson, 09, 2010, from Huntington, West Virginia.
That's right. Well, that 8 players that wore 54. Well, Josh has always got the stats with that. Yeah, that is quite a few. Well, what do you think, Josh? You think Reeves is coming back? You think Livingston and Oscar should have gone, or you think they should have come back? What's your thoughts on all that kind of stuff?
I think that Casey Wallace will be drafted about between 12 and 14. I think Oscar might go. And I don't know how many rounds is there in the NBA draft.
I think just 2, right, Michael? And just 2. Just 2.
I think Oscar might get in the second round late. Like, it'd be like one of the last picks because he still has a lot to learn. And Chris won't even get drafted. Chris's camp, whoever's in charge of him is just
misleading him.
all they care about is themselves.
Yeah,
they're not giving him sound advice. He could have come back to Kentucky and made probably not a lot of money in NIL deals, but he would have made some.
Yeah,
because the G League don't even pay
as well as Kentucky NIL would. Yeah, that's right. I agree. Yeah, the G League wouldn't even pay as well as Kentucky NIL would. Would it, Michael?
No, that's what you and I was talking about earlier as well. If he goes to the G League, then he could have made more money and lived a better life. At least they fly the games. I think in a G League, I think you jump on a Greyhound bus and take off. So
yeah,
I'm just saying, I like road trips, but I like for it to be through the air.
Yep. No, I agree. Air trips.
Michael, how excited are you about the football season? Because they're saying, a lot of people are saying, a lot of analysts and people, these experts, I guess they want to call them the chefs, is saying Kentucky is projected to have a top 5 defense, number 5 defense in the country.
Yep. Yeah, we were just piecing through the schedule, trying to get some positivity after all this basketball negativity. But before you called, we were just kind of going through that schedule. So
I think the key is one word: healthy. Can our guys find a way to stay healthy, man? I mean, I know it's the game of football, but the last couple of years, Kentucky football has just been plagued by not just the second or third screen guys getting hurt. It's been some very key players that has really hurt us, and it's kind of hard to replace those guys. So I think on both sides of the ball, I think the depth is there for the offensive line. I think the defense is set up where we can succeed. We just got to go play ball. I mean, we can't be afraid to step on the field with people. We got to be excited about, there's no way that you come to the SEC to play football and not expect to get on the field and be aggressive and come out there with a chip on your shoulder. Not everybody can go to the SEC. Let's just be real. So if you make it, then let's, show up and show out.
Yep.
So if we do have a top 5 defense, say we have a top 5 defense, and that offense is a lot better this year. Say that we average 24 points a game. That's up from what we did average last year. I think we averaged about 20 per game last year. Then do we have a better chance of beating a Georgia or an Alabama if we have that good of offense and that great of a defense?
I mean, our offense was non-existent last year, so I think by default we do. Yeah, personally. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our offense can't be no worse than what it was last year. That's for sure.
Knock on wood.
It can't be no worse. And like I said, I mean, the pieces, I really think they went out and they didn't just find guys to plug into a hole. They found guys who they can put in their natural positions. And I think that makes a big difference. Can we keep Leary off his back? Can we keep him healthy? Can our O-line stay healthy? Can our defensive line stay healthy? We definitely got to, if the guys are, we got to get to the quarterback. We got to, teams are going to rush us. So, hey, let's rush other teams as well as our quarterbacks. We just got to show up, and as Vince would say, we just got to be dogs out there. And we got to show that we belong in the SEC.
That's right.
Yeah. I think we're going to have a really good year. I think we'll go at least 9-3. I'm sticking with that. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but I really think we'll go at least 9-3. We could go 10-2. It just depends, like you said, if we stay healthy. They've added some big pieces to the Big Blue Wall this year, and Larry is pretty good quarterback. So, I think the sky's the limits for the program, and it's going up. And unfortunately, it seems like our basketball program is going down. And
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm more into football than basketball right now. I'm not afraid to admit that.
Yeah, it's a lot of people who have basically.
I remember more about football season than this year coming up.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
From Ohio State, so
yeah, I completely agree, man. Well, what do you think Reeves is going to do? You think Reeves is coming back or nah?
that's my thing. How could he not come back? He's just a freshman, correct?
No, I
thought
think
you had to be. Or was he an undergraduate?
He's an undergraduate, but I mean he's about to graduate.
So he can transfer. Okay, so he can transfer at any time.
Well, that's the thing about him is he hasn't graduated yet, but he can stay this summer and finish classes at UK this summer and then transfer from there because he would be a grad transfer at that point. Is what I think is how it
I think that's correct.
Yeah. This is what I hope. I hope that he stays, but my gut as where the state of the program is right now and how there's so much chaos right now with the program, my gut says he leaves. I don't want him to leave because I don't want him to go into, say, he goes to an SEC school. Say he goes to Tennessee. God forbid. I can't believe I said that out of my mouth. And
now it's going to happen because Josh said it. No, just kidding.
Then he goes to Tennessee, and he absolutely goes crazy and puts 50 on us or something. Something weird. But I'm saying, he goes to an SEC school and he just shows out. Then Calipari is going to look real stupid.
Yeah, I know. We can't lose Reeves now. We thought, Michael said at the beginning of the episode, that Kentucky basketball is in the state of an emergency. I don't think we're necessarily to that point yet, but I think if we lost Reeves, we would be. I think that's where we are for sure.
We're daggone. We're real close.
We're real close.
Real close to that. Yep.
There's no doubt.
And I know people said, "Oh, we can't do it. We can't. Kentucky can't afford it. Can't afford it." If Calipari does not win a championship this year, or at least gets to the daggone championship game, then I think it's over for Calipari at Kentucky. Whatever, what's left, $40 million, they'll figure out some way to pony up and buy him out. And they'll never, ever, hopefully never give another coach a lifetime contract because that was the dumbest move by Mitch Ballenhort in his entire life was to give John Calipari a full-time, lifetime contract.
I mean, I think it was a mistake too. As far as when he leaves, I still think he leaves when he wants to. I don't know that UK will ever be able to buy him out, but we'll see, man. But thanks for calling in as always.
I don't know. I've lost so much faith in him, man. All right, guys, no problem. Thank you, guys. Michael, thank you for being on the show. I'm glad you're back home. I'm glad you're
Thank
safe.
you so much. Appreciate it.
I can watch one of your shows pretty soon. And I love supporting you guys both. Have an amazing night. God bless.
Thanks so much, Josh. We appreciate you.
All right, bye.
Bye. Linda says, I think something's going on behind the scenes since last year.
A whole lot.
And that dumbest move, lifetime contract. But yes, something's going on that we don't know. I think that's pretty evident at this point, isn't it, Michael?
Yes, mass exodus.
I
don't understand. Yep.
And the assistant coach thing, like we still have an assistant coach vacancy, right? Now there's some speculation it might be somebody on the Heat staff, and that's why they haven't been announced yet because the Heat are still in the NBA Finals, and nobody really thought that the Heat would be in the NBA Finals, so that's why it's kind of taken this long. But we still haven't filled that spot. So that if it's not somebody on the Heat, that would be really concerning from a cultural standpoint that we can't get an assistant coach to come to Kentucky basketball. That would be pretty crazy.
You just all you can do is just shake your head and just be like, it's definitely something going on behind the scenes. I don't know what it is, but somebody need to figure this out for sure and fast.
But back to the positive side of things, back to football. Let's assume we start 5-0, beat the 3 non-conference teams, beat Vandy and Florida, Kentucky at Georgia. Is there any chance we're going to win that game?
I think it's a confidence level. I mean, it starts with beating Vandy, of course. We got to beat Florida. That puts us at already 5 wins on the year. Um, we're almost bowl eligible. I mean, I think it's just a matter of just confidence, and
Yeah.
it's just like at Kentucky. When things are going good, you can cover everything up that's not going good behind the scenes. So if we can keep everything positive on the surface by winning these games, it's almost like you're supposed to say, well, we're supposed to beat Florida, which whoever thought we would be saying this a few years ago, that we're supposed to beat Florida. So if we beat Florida, destroy Vanderbilt, we're already 5-0.
We're
All we can do is say, hey,
high confidence level.
yeah, what I'm saying? It's all about that confidence level, and it's about, if you win in ball games, then the locker room is one thing to lose a game and not get in the game as a player and thinking you should have got in the game, because when that starts happening, then that's when the locker room will start to be divided. That's when you're going to start to have a lot of issues behind closed doors, because I ain't playing and we're still losing. So play me, and it's going to be a lot of turmoil. So winning covers a lot of things. So as long as we keep winning, the confidence, I think we can give ourselves a chance. Georgia's a big hill. Alabama's a big hill.
It is.
But even at the worst, even if we lost those 2 games and that's it, I think Kentucky would take it.
Hey, I want to throw our phone number back up on the screen one more time. Anybody else wants to call in? 502-234-1504. We don't bite. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a shout. Talk to us about your Kentucky basketball frustrations or anything else. I love Kentucky football, but I don't even think any amount of confidence is going to help us beat Georgia. I just don't think we can.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd love if we did, but I don't know.
I would just like to really, really just be competitive in the ball game. Let's just be competitive.
Josh says he still thinks for some reason that we beat Georgia this year. So I mean, if we do, I'm not complaining.
Stop a man with hope.
That's right. Missouri at Kentucky. I feel good about that one.
Better beat Missouri. Yeah, we better get that win. Yeah.
Tennessee at Kentucky. It was not a pretty showing this past year when we played Tennessee. You think it's going to be any different this year in Lexington?
I hope they remember what it felt like to go down to Tennessee and get embarrassed.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have their receiver. They don't have their quarterback. Milton, yeah, that guy's got a cannon for an arm. How good can he be? Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we just got to come in and the guys that was there last year, we just got to remember what it felt like. Then we went down there and they just completely destroyed us.
Kentucky at Mississippi State. For some reason, every time we go to Starkville, it seems like we forget how to play football. So I don't know.
Will this be the year we beat them?
It could be. But until we do, it's kind of like playing in Knoxville. It's just like, I don't know if I can pick Kentucky to win, I'll say we beat Tennessee, but I'll say we lose to Georgia, lose to Mississippi State will be our second loss of the year. Then we come home for the cupcake on Senior Day playing Alabama. What do you think our chances are of beating Alabama in Lexington on Senior Day? Yeah, Senior Day. Yeah.
Oh, that's how I feel.
Yeah, that sums it up.
If I'm being realistic. Yeah.
Well, if that's another loss, then that's 3 losses. Kentucky at South Carolina is our SEC closer. Usually that's like one of our SEC openers. It's weird that we're going to close the year at South Carolina, but kind of weird last year how they snuck in and beat us when Levis was hurt. I think we go back to beating South Carolina on a regular basis this year. Even though it's down there, I think we beat South Carolina.
If Kentucky is going to call themselves a rising team that's getting better yearly, Missouri, South Carolina, Vandy, and be competitive in these other games, then we got to go. And even if it is in South Carolina, we got to go beat South Carolina. It just we have to beat those guys if we want to say we're building something special at UK. Then that's a game that we need to win.
Game.
Yeah,
Linda says
if you're gonna get to that level, you got to win.
Oh, that's absolutely right. Ice Cube chance in hell on beating Bama. Linda says. Caden says, "Are we going to that game?" Yeah, Caden and I might go to that Alabama game. We'll have to see. It's on the list. We're either going to go to Alabama or Vandy, which those will be two different results. Hopefully,
I'll be at the Vandy game.
You'll be at the Vandy game in Nashville.
Yeah.
Well,
I live 40 miles from Nashville.
Okay. Well, hey, then we'll have to go to the Vandy game.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Alden Parker says we have a better chance to beat Alabama than Georgia this year. I will say that. If I had to choose one that we have the better chance in, I think it's Alabama. Now, I'm not saying it's a big chance, but I think it's a better chance. So
then we better get them while they at the low then.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, they're on a down year. As much of a down year as Alabama.
Down year. We better go get them. Yeah.
Right. Josh Hart says can't lose to the bottom dwellers, South Carolina, the SEC doormat. That's right. It's South Carolina's the SEC doormat, according to
SEC doormat, South Carolina.
I mean, pardon the interruption, not pardon my take. That's the podcast. Tony Kornheiser, that's that guy's name.
Yeah.
I was like, what's that guy's name?
We can't lose to those guys. We got to find a way to win. They beat us in football and basketball.
I know. It's we can't do that. Yeah. That's sad. You reminded me of that. That's I was trying to forget it.
Erase that.
Linda's a super UK fan. She says she'll be at all home UK games. So she's season awesome. Ticket holder. So she'll be at all of them there. So there we go. Kentucky at Louisville. Now I know Jeff Brom is going to turn the program around a little bit, but I think we still beat Louisville pretty handily in football this year. I don't think much is going to change in year one necessarily.
I think the X factor of that ball game is, are you ready? Drum roll. Gatewood.
Joey Gatewood. Yeah, that's right. Who's now going to play tight end for Louisville. Isn't that the weirdest?
He's gonna catch the big touchdown. Yeah. Okay. I can't. When I saw the news, like I couldn't believe it. Like,
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like The Onion. I thought it was like an Onion article. Crazy. Caden says, do we have a better chance at beating Louisville in football or basketball this year? Oh, still football. There's no chance. Well, I mean, we're going to beat him. Let me figure out what you're going to say. What you're trying to say here. I think we still have a better chance at beating them in basketball. Like, I still think that we're going to beat down Louisville in basketball. Like, no competition. Like Louisville's going to be worse in basketball than they are football, like without a question. But I think we're going to beat them in both sports. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that response better. Let's just beat them in both. Yeah,
yeah. No, I think so too. That would be sad if we lost to them in either sport, but especially basketball.
Yeah.
Anybody else wants to call? So. What would that be? That would be 9-3. Like, so you could see 9-3 pretty easily this season, can't you?
I can see that. That should get us a trip back to Florida for
a
bowl game.
Citrus Bowl. Yeah, I can get down with the 9-3. And then when the playoff happens, 9-3, when it expands to 12 next year, that could get you in. 9-3 might get you in at 12 in the SEC. So
it could. It's all about dreaming. You got to dream big.
You do got to dream big. Caden's a basketball Benny, as Cal would say. He says everyone's always hyping the football team up, 12-0. Well,
go dude.
We got to dream. We can dream, can't we?
Got to dream, yeah.
Yeah, we
We all
got to
can dream.
That's right. So, but yeah, anybody else wants to call in, I'll leave the number up there. Don't be shy. We don't bite. 502-234-1504. Caden said, "Oh, that would be great. They would burn Lexington to the ground." Yeah, if we went 12-0 in football and went to like the SEC championship, that would be. I can't even imagine. Lexington would be crazy.
Burning couches would be the least of their worries.
It would be.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be worried about the couch burning. What do you think about this whole? Have you heard about this whole SEC schedule change that they're trying to move it to 9 games with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma? Like, what's your thought on that? Are you a 9-game kind of guy, or would you rather them keep it at 8 SEC games?
Let's see. Let's go back to the COVID year? Right after COVID, I think that's when it was, when we actually just played SEC teams. Yeah. How did that go? How did that go?
Yeah, we won 4.
Yeah,
it was not great. Yeah, we won 4.
Well, okay. I look at it like this: we made a bowl game, 7 years straight, whatever it is. I mean, we got a good streak going for bowls. So, yeah, COVID year. Remember?
So you go with the 8. Yeah,
I
like that too.
8.
So if they keep the 8, our permanent opponent would be South Carolina, which I would like.
I would like that.
South Carolina, and then I think the others, the other 7 would be on a rotation. So I think it would sort of be. It's either one of the scenarios. It's either the 9 or the 8 that they would rotate it to where you played every SEC team every other year. So you would play everybody in every city every 4 years.
Okay, we can do that.
So,
that's tough.
So
man.
I would like that. That would be cool if you had like Texas and Texas A&M and all those schools, or Oklahoma, all those schools come to Lexington. Like, that would be really cool. Go to Oxford, go to Baton Rouge more often.
We got to go to Death Valley. At night.
Well, it would not be ideal. But it would be. It would not be ideal for wins, but it would be cool. It would keep things entertaining.
Well, if you look at it from that aspect of it, if you want to be with the big boys, then you got to play with the big boys. So eventually, either you continue to get ran over, or you learn how to win these ball games.
Yep,
that's what it comes down to. You can't run from it. They on our schedule eventually, so we got to play them home or away. We got to stand up, and I think these kids, no matter where you play ball at, I think they look forward to the big games as such. So, as they always say, big people play big in big games. Well, every game's gonna be big.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, but no, I know that the nine teams, even Alabama, even Nick Saban doesn't want to move to 9 games. And that's Alabama. So imagine how Kentucky feels in Vandy, especially poor Vandy. If we went to 9 games, Vandy would not be having a good time. That's for sure.
No, they wouldn't. Not at all.
Well, that's for sure. Well, if nobody else wants to call in here, we'll start kind of wrapping things up here. Crazy day, crazy 48 hours really in UK athletics, especially Kentucky basketball. We'll see. When do you think we're going to hear about Reeves? You think it's going to be soon? You think it's going to be the next few days? I've heard we're going to get this kid from St. John's. I hear the St. John's big kid is going to come, so that could at least be some help.
That could be some relief right now, huh?
Yeah, but we're Kentucky. We don't want to be relying on St. John's transfers to be able to piece together a roster. That just it's just truly unbelievable. Like, you don't even know what to say. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what? How do you even put words on it?
You don't. You just sit back and just try to see what happens. I'm reading something. I'm trying to see where they have them at. ESPN has Wallace going at number 17, which not a lottery, to the Lakers. He's going to be out there with Anthony Davis.
All right.
And they have Livingston going at 56, but they do not have Oscar going anywhere. So maybe Oscar's going to take the maybe he's just going to go overseas and play ball. I don't know. You know, I mean, he can make some good money overseas, but
it would have been pretty devastating if Oscar did come back to college and transferred, though. That would be even worse. I feel
that would be really bad. Yeah, we don't want to have to play against you because we already know what you're capable of doing.
Right. Yeah. No, that's
and they have Oscar sitting at number 65. The only problem I have with number 65 is it's only 60. It's only 60 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. Well, it's not a great time to be a Kentucky basketball fan, but hopefully we can piece together a roster before we have to go actually play a game in Canada. That would be good.
It would be nice.
Team Canada.
I think that'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah. We need a roster. Otherwise, me and Caden and you are going to be, filling in. So you don't want that.
I'm open.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, we're gonna have to shoot three. But I did want to read this this excerpt from John Calipari's book before we go.
Okay, go ahead.
This is what he said, and this is in John Calipari's Players First book. He said, on offense, it starts with, and this was in 2014 when he wrote this book, by the way, for context. On offense, it starts with driving the ball to the basket, which produces high percentage layups or even better, dunks. Or you get fouled, which if you shoot a decent percentage from the line, results in about 1.5 points per possession. The second best option is a quality three-point attempt. Even if you hit just 35% of your three-pointers, it's better than shooting 50% from inside the line. The worst shot is a mid-range jumper. A lot of basketball fans say nobody can make a 12-foot jump shot anymore. It offends them, and I understand why. A professional basketball player or a big-time college player ought to be able to knock that shot down, especially if he's unguarded. But the numbers tell you why they don't practice those shots enough. Even in the NBA, where the three-point arc is farther out, most of the best teams are near the top in three-point shots attempted and percentage of three-pointers made. Our defense prioritizes the converse of what we do when we have the ball. Guard the basket, guard the three-point line, force turnovers, rebound every missed shot. We'll take our chances getting beaten by teams hitting mid-range shots. It's usually not going to happen. Even when they make them, it's just 2 points and there's no reason for us to foul. But that's how we play. We take mid-range jumpers. Like that's how
a lot of them too.
So I just don't. Either John Calipari completely changed his coaching philosophy since 2014, or he didn't write that. It's one of the two. Yeah. There's really no in between there.
He should go back and read those words.
But if he coached like that, like if he did that, like I would be completely behind that. That's how we need to play.
Like, yep, we got to do that, man. And come on, Cal. The few people who are truly believing that you can get this right and right this ship, don't let us down.
I know.
Don't let us down. Yep.
Well, Michael, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. You have to come on more. We'd love to have you on as much as you'll come on. So
likewise, now that I'm here in the States and stuff, people say, well, you got technology and stuff like that. But when you get overseas and you already got an 8-hour time difference, and then you're working long hours and the heat and stuff like that, most of the days you just wanted to take a shower and just go to bed. So it is, even though technology and internet and stuff is really good, sometimes you just want to just sleep every day. But it's good to be home and stuff like that. I'm working on doing better for this show, and I'm trying to advertise my Second to None and like stuff like that. I mean, it's really good when I actually put it together. I really envision it being a really, really fun show. We have some smack. We talk smack. I'm the host, so I let my Kentucky guy Matt Short. I let him take care of it. But just to hear all the guys just I mean, we have our fun, but we also really talk sports too as well too. So so definitely check out second to none if you can. It's going to be a fun second season.
Well, we always name our episodes, and we're Talking Kentucky, but we name each episode Talking Something. So we got some suggestions in the comments. I would say that Talking Don't Give Up would be a good one, because that's we talked about that.
There you go.
It's National Don't Give Up Day, and we can't give up on Kentucky basketball. We can't give up on Caden. We can't give up on Kentucky football going 12-0. So Caden says we could do Talking Long too. Yeah,
long too.
We don't want any Talking Long twos. That's not what we want.
Yeah, Talking Long too.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. And
thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to come on anytime. One of these days we're not going to have any technical difficulties, but that just becomes part of the show. That's what you sign up for when you do these.
It took me almost a year and a half to learn how to use my equipment, so don't feel bad. It's just been sitting looking at me. Yeah, so don't feel bad.
That's how
keep trying. Yeah, just keep trying it for sure.
Don't give up, as they say. Yeah,
don't give up. Don't never give up.
Denny Morris says, "Go Cats!"
Go Cats!
And that's all we can say, as we hope for Antonio Reeves to come back. And if you're watching this for the first time, you can give us a like here on our Facebook page. Is where we do most of our stuff. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube at Talkin_Kentucky. We post all our episodes up on there, as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Which, if you haven't listened on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, that's really where you should listen, because that's like where we go in and edit and add the music and everything. And that's where you should really listen back if you missed the show. It's back there. So listen there. You can become a supporter of Talking Kentucky. We have a Patreon. If you look us up on Patreon, you can support us and get some Talking Kentucky merch in return for your support. So we'd love if you could help us out on that. And that's our little rundown there. And Josh Hart says, "Go Batcats!" That's right. This weekend, the Batcats are going to take on Ball State. So let's hope the Cats can make a run in the NCAA tournament. If they can get past all the traffic that's going to be in Lexington from Railbird and everything else going on there this weekend.
I'm pretty sure our Batcats are staying in nice hotel rooms tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there are no hotel rooms in Lexington. Yeah, that's for sure. That's a whole nother thing we could get into. But for Coleman Scott, for Michael Spencer Sr., the loyal BBN fan, and for Caden, who's in the comments instead of up on the screen tonight, and for everybody that's listened, we really appreciate it. This has been episode number 54 of Talking Kentucky, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you next Thursday night for episode number 55. Thursday night right here, 8 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Central. We'll see you then. Thanks a lot. Go Cats! Please come back. Please come back and
Reeves, come home.
Yeah,
please
come home, Reeves.
Yeah,
pretty please.
Really.